Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is April, and for today's video we are reviewing the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation. I am using the color 128 Warm Nude. Okay, so this foundation typically retails for about $7.99 at the drugstore. You can actually pick this up though for $5.99 over at Target. It comes in 24 different shades, which is a huge range of shades, especially for a drugstore foundation. And there are different foundations within this collection. So this is the matte and poreless one, but there's also a dewy and smooth one. There's a stick foundation for normal skin. So this is actually meant for normal to oily skin. I will say I have very normal skin right now, and if anything, my skin tends to be a little bit more on the dry side, but I decided to pick this one up anyway, and it is really working out well for me. So I'm going to go into which skin types I feel like this would actually work best for, and tell you all the details. So first things first, I actually picked this up because I just wanted something quick. I just needed foundation. I was running out of one of my other foundations, and every other color that I have right now is really not working out for my skin. I am very pale, but I have a yellow undertone. I have potential to be extremely dark, so I get very pale in the winter, very tan in the summer. It's like I have very complicated skin to work with. And the problem that I have with a lot of foundations, in particular drugstore foundations, is that they oxidize like crazy on my skin. Because of the fact that I am so pale with a yellow undertone, a lot of these foundations tend to oxidize and turn my skin orange. I look like a pumpkin, and it drives me nuts, which is why a lot of the times I am going for those higher end foundations. But I had heard nothing but great things about this, so I wanted to give it a shot. I was actually toying between getting this one or Wet n Wild's new like photo focus foundation, and I just picked up this one because this one, from what I had heard, has heavier coverage than that one. So that was the only reason that I had picked this one up instead. So I will say the color match is great. It is still slightly dark for me, but I could have used a shade up, but I'm not sure if that would have been a little bit too light. My problem is that it's either too orange or it is like giving me this crazy white cast. But so this one's good. I just really got to make sure it's always blended down my neck. And once I conceal and highlight and all of that, everything kind of works itself out fine. I think my cat just wants to be in this video. By the way, I don't know if you guys have met this cat. His birth name is Elwood, but lately Pat renamed him Dolphin. So, because he does this thing where if you go like this with your hand and he's standing right next to you, he does like this dolphin jump thing, and then he like kind of chirps like a dolphin. Like, it's really weird. He's a very, very strange cat. He also grabs my hand and makes me pet him. Like, he'll literally grab my hands until I pet him on the head. It's very strange. So anyway, this foundation does go on seamlessly. I prefer to use it with the Beauty Blender. I don't really use a foundation brush anymore, like a regular foundation brush. The only thing that I will sometimes reach for is my Artiste brushes, but I find that the coverage just isn't what I want it to be. Unless I use the Beauty Blender. So I find that the Beauty Blender works best for me. It definitely gives me that seamless finish, and also I have been using it with... Monkey is pulling at my welcome mat right now. Sorry if you guys heard that. Anyway, I've been using it with an e.l.f. primer, which is like crazy because I am usually like a huge fan of the Smashbox primers, but again, I was just trying something cheap, you know, seeing what kind of works, and it gives me such a great prime. So I have been using that and I liked it, and so I wanted to put this over it. And I would say it doesn't make me completely poreless. Like, I was hoping it was going to blur out every single imperfection. It doesn't, but I would say about like 85% of it looks poreless. So I'm really happy with this. I think this is a great foundation as far as that goes. And as far as it being matte, to me, it doesn't feel completely matte either. I know that a lot of people look for that velvet matte finish, and especially for somebody like me whose skin, if it's not normal, will tend to be on the drier side. You would think that I would not want to pick this up because it says matte, but it's got like a demi-matte finish. So it's not going to be your shiny, dewy finish, but it's not going to be like that velvet matte. So my only thing is that what I was hearing reviews from other people, a lot of people who have very oily skin were like no to this because it just sat on the skin the wrong way. The skin kind of grabbed at it and made it a little bit patchy because it is not a full velvet matte. So with that said, you may want to be careful with that because I find that this works very well on me, and I have a slight shine anyway. So I feel like if I had oily skin, it probably wouldn't be working out all too well for me. So you just want to be careful with that. But like I said, there are different foundations in this actual collection. Also, the second ingredient in this is cyclohexacillazane, which is a silicone-based polymer. It's very similar to dimethicone. When I had opened up to read the ingredients, I was like, all right, dimethicone is kind of like, I think it was like the 10th ingredient or something along those lines. If it wasn't within the first 3, I was happy with it. But I saw what the second ingredient was. Pretty much the same thing, does the same thing. In Canada, I know that they actually banned that ingredient in cosmetic products because it was harming their wildlife, which is kind of crazy. So I don't really know if you really want to be putting that on your face, or at least keeping it on for a prolonged amount of time. If you don't care about the ingredients and you're just looking for that kind of coverage, then this is fine. But if you are somebody who cares about that kind of stuff, or you have skin that is prone to reactions, then you really want to be careful with this, because that's going to help it blend and smooth itself out, which is why the application of this foundation is incredible. But as far as breaking you out long term, it's going to break you out if you have sensitive skin. So that's something that's going to be completely unavoidable when you have those kinds of ingredients in your foundation. Other than that, I am a big fan of this. I think that this is a great foundation, especially if you're looking for something within a budget that kind of feels a little bit more high-end. It actually is kind of reminding me of the way that the NARS Luminous Weightless foundation sits on my skin. That one is a little bit more dewy than this, so I'm curious to try the dewy and smooth version of this Fit Me foundation and seeing if that actually is almost nearly identical to the NARS one, because obviously the NARS one would be like triple the price, or maybe even quadruple the price. But this does have such a similar feel, so if you are a fan of that one, I would definitely give this one a try if your skin is normal. So I'm just going to do a little swatch on my hand, a close-up swatch, just so you guys can see the way that it smooths itself out. It really is incredible. I'm a big fan of that, but I'm not a big fan of the ingredient that allows it to do that. So you just want to be extra careful when you're pouring this out because there's no pump, so you don't want to over pour. But as you can see, it blends out really well, and it does give such a high coverage, especially if you're doing multiple layers. That's it for this video. I hope you guys like this. Like I said, I'm a big fan of it. I'll give this about a 9 out of 10, and the only reason I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10 is because I'm not crazy about the ingredients, but you are getting a lot for your money, so it may be worth it for a lot of you. So I hope you guys like this. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, and also turn on those bell notifications because I put out new videos every Wednesday and Sunday. Also, leave me a comment in the comment section below. On Sunday, I'm doing a Q&A, which I set out questions and answers and stuff like that for Snapchat and Instagram that are all pageant related. So about competing in pageants, my pageant life, all of that kind of stuff. So I'll be filming that on Sunday. So if you guys have any questions, you guys can leave that in the comment section below as well, and I'll answer those. Or head over to my Snapchat and Instagram and message me on there. Also, if you guys didn't watch Sunday's Tea Talk video, you can go and click right here. It's all about taking action. I found that video to be pretty effective, so I would really like for you guys to go watch that. And I will see you guys in Sunday's video. Bye.